All right, so good morning, everyone. Thanks again for joining us 2 days in a row to talk about a big event that's coming Friday. Everyone knows what's going on. We got a big parade that we've been planning, and no, we didn't start planning Sunday night. We've been planning this for a little bit, but we're here to talk about our Eagles Championship Parade plan. It's going to be a great day, and as I mentioned yesterday, while the Eagles brought home the Super Bowl trophy, we've been bringing fans to Lincoln Financial Field every game this season, as we do for every event down at the sports complex. Tens of thousands of people we've brought down to Lincoln Financial Field, including a record 31,000 people on the NFC Championship game day. So we're really eager to do this thing on Friday. It's going to be a great day. It's also going to be extremely challenging. We're going to move the same number of people in a much shorter time frame than we do in a normal weekday. So we're going to move them in, we're going to move them out. But what we ask from our customers is patience. We can't move everybody in at the same time, and we can't take everybody home at the same time. So we're asking people to plan your trip. Make sure you arrive early. Make sure you are patient with us. Dress warm, even though it's supposed to be a beautiful day Friday. Make sure you dress for the weather. Pack snacks, whatever you need to do to keep yourself comfortable, including, very important, comfortable shoes, because this is a walking event. People are going to move around, so make sure you're dressed for it. We're going to look significantly different. Our service plan changes the way we do our entire business. So you're going to see lots of station closures, very strategic closures that we're going to go through here in great detail. We're going to give you a lot of information this morning, but I want to make sure everybody knows you can find the plan. It's in its entirety on our website, SEPTA.org. Much like we did for the 2018 Eagles Parade, we're reshaping to accommodate lots of people in a short amount of time. So this is a parade plan that we put together in 2018 that we learned a great deal from the 2008 Phillies Parade. So if for those of you who've been with us that long, it was a very difficult day for us. I think we attempted to really run regular service and just try to accommodate more folks, but that did not work out well for us. So what we learned from that, and we applied to the Papal visit in 2015, we applied to the Eagles Parade in 2018, is what you're going to see here today. So first and foremost, let me just say that we are very thrilled to announce free rides on the Market Frankford line and Broad Street line. Let me say it again. Free rides on the Market Frankford line and the Broad Street line only. All right, so we want to make sure that that's very clear, and thank you to the sponsors who helped us out with that. Regular fares will be required for every other service we run. Regional rail, transit bus, transit rail on the Media Sharon Hill lines, and our city trolleys and our Norristown Speed line. For regional rail, a key card or one-day pass will be acceptable fare. You will not be able to purchase a fare instrument on parade day at any of our regional rail stations. You will also not be able to purchase a fare instrument aboard the train. You must arrive to the station parade day with a fare instrument in hand, either a loaded key card or the one-day pass that we're selling. On buses and trolleys, all forms of payment will be acceptable. Key cards, contactless credit, Apple Pay, smartphone, other smartphone pays, and of course cash at the fare box. Market Frankford line, Broad Street line are the best bets. We're going to run service every 6 to 8 minutes throughout the day, starting at the beginning of our service day at around 5 a.m. until the end of the service day, which ends around 12:30 at night. They will be free during that time frame all day on Friday. We will run as frequently as we can, but you can see from the Broad Street and Market Street maps that we've had on the screen, the service will be significantly shrunk. So we are only going to run in a few stations on each line. We chose these stations very strategically based on customer capacity within the station, how quickly we can move trains through the stations, as well as strategically for operational purposes. We can switch tracks. We can do all sorts of things at these stations that we may not be able to do at others. You can board on the south end down at NRG, Oregon, and Snyder. They're all grouped together. You can board and alight there if you want to see the parade on the south end of the route. But if you want to be in Center City or want to be close walking distance to the Art Museum, then we encourage you to get off at either Racevine or Walnut Locust. And then you can reboard there after the parade. Similarly, on the Market Frankford line, there are 6 stops on either end of the line. If you're coming from the west end, 30th Street may be your best bet if you want to get to the Art Museum or you want to get over to South Broad. Same thing at 11th and Market. You can get off at 11th and Market, get over to City Hall, and all points there from to the Art Museum. These are also going to be your boarding locations at the end of the parade. So you want to make sure you get to these locations. Again, these will be right in the heart of the parade, of where people are going to gather. So at the end of the parade, they're all going to come back to these stations. They're going to be big lines. We're going to process people as quickly as we can, running our trains through there every 6 to 8 minutes. Please be patient with us. Additional station closures may occur during parade time based on crowd swells. So during the 2018 parade, for example, we closed Walnut Locust Station just right around parade kickoff time, around 11 a.m. We did that because we will not, and this is a very important lesson we learned in 2008, we will not continue to put people into a situation where they can't move. It's very dangerous for us. This is why you'll see the entire City Hall complex and Suburban Station closed, is because we couldn't get people up the stairs when we were dropping people off because the crowd swells. Next thing you know, they're from the curb to the buildings, and there's no place for people to go. So we want to make sure that people understand that there could be station closures during parade day. The Broad Street Market Frankford line give us the highest capacity. It's a people mover. So we can move hundreds of thousands of people during the day by using the service that we're running. On the way in, we can carry a combined 55,000 people on these two lines every hour. So if we're operating for approximately 6 hours of the parade, you can kind of do the math, over 300,000 people. On to regional rail. Regional rail's a lot different. So regional rail has the highest capacity of about 70,000 people. We can move 70,000 people in and 70,000 people out. And the train service and the station design, the service design, is meant to accommodate that number. So it is limited. So if you are late to the game, you may not get in. So we encourage people, come early, come with your fare instruments, because you won't be allowed to board without it. We are going to pre-validate everybody's fare instrument before they board. So you'll have to have one in line or you'll be turned away. Also, I encourage you to get there early, because if you intend to show up a few minutes before the train arrives, you won't get on that train, because I guarantee there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of people waiting in line for the train. Regional rail has great options, but capacity is limited, unlike the Broad Street and Market Frankford lines. Service on the regional rail is first come, first serve. We're going to do as much as we can to accommodate everybody that showed up. And just to give you an example, in 2018, we served everyone. We left nobody behind. So while it is limited, parade goers back then, they followed our instructions. We got there early. We were able to make the accommodation. The key is planning ahead. If you're taking regional rail, get there early. Whatever mode you're using, we want to remind customers about parking. Parking is available at most of our stations, but it is limited. This is a drop-off or walk-up event. So ask a friend, a relative to drop you off at the station, get in line and wait for the train. Parking will be limited, and I'm sure parking will be taken up very, very early. Be mindful of parking restrictions in the neighborhoods around our stations. We don't have any agreements for folks to park in the neighborhoods. So park at your own risk. So again, get dropped off. Riders can also look at trolley and bus options, although bus detours will be extensive around the parade route. So we can only get you but so close on the buses. We also want to make sure that everybody knows our paratransit service is operating on parade day. However, just like our buses and any other traffic options, paratransit will be greatly limited by detours. So we encourage folks who use our paratransit service for doctor's appointments or other medical needs to plan to go either the day before or after. Make sure that that is their options. Look, we're very excited to serve all the parade goers, but we also want to make space for essential workers. So hospital staff, police and fire, the folks that actually need to get into Center City. So we will make exceptions to get those folks aboard a train or aboard a trolley or a subway. So please approach staff at the station. Let us know you're there. Most rail stations in the city that serve those folks, they all serve medical institutions, so we're close enough that people can get where they need to go. This is an all hands on deck for SEPTA. We will have hundreds of people out at the stations All of our operators and station attendants will be working, all of our management staff. We will flood the stations, the open stations, with staff, so there should be no problem for folks to get information if they need it. Please just approach a staff member, ask the question you need, and we'll get you that answer quickly. The SEPTA app, while it's a good resource on a normal day, you will not have the same information in the SEPTA app on parade day that you would get on a normal day. That's why we have enough staff out there to answer questions, so you won't be able to track trains and track on time, real-time information on the vehicles. We'll get you the information that you need with staff. Plan ahead. Use the resources that we have, whether it's our app, our Twitter feeds, SEPTA.org. We're going to publish it. We're going to throw as much information as we can out there throughout the day, let people know what stations have to be closed, if any, how trains are running. We are doing everything we can to make the system as free of obstructions as we can for customers. So we are out testing all of our infrastructure. We're running all of our equipment through extra inspections. Our unions we've communicated with our unions. They're very supportive of getting the membership in, getting everybody in here to support this event. It's a big deal for everyone, and we want to be there. You know, this event, just like every other event that we support down the sports complex, we want to demonstrate how important SEPTA is. It's no secret that we are in a funding crisis, that we're asking the taxpayer to provide more funding for SEPTA, and that fight continues, and that we're grateful to the governor for his budget proposal for SEPTA. But it's times like these that we prove SEPTA's value and worth in the region, not only just in this region, but in the Commonwealth. And it's things like this that bring us all together, and we're going to be part of this, and we're going to be a strong partner. We're going to make sure that everybody gets where they need to go. So with that, I'm happy to take questions.
On that note, you just mentioned that you guys have had shortages of conductors. What would you do as far as that's concerned?
So as I said, it's all hands on deck. We are going to have our regional rail engineers and conductors. Everybody's working. Same thing with our bus operators. Our shortage, as you know, in bus operators is really has been our biggest obstacle. Bus service is going to be limited that day anyway. But nonetheless, we're going to throw as much personnel as we can at this to make sure that we make it as smooth as possible. So we have contingencies in place. Should we wind up with someone who may suddenly take sick or something like that, and we have extra staff, as many extra staff as we can provide. I will say that what helps us with this service plan also helps that problem, because our operators and train crews are limited in hours of service. So this plan actually reduces that need, because we can manage our crews and bring in as many people as possible and not exhaust them during the day.
Scott, when it comes to frequency of service on the regional rails, how close will that be to a regular schedule? Because it's all inbound and trains won't be able to turn around and go back.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a little more robust on most lines, because we are going to maximize throughput. So we'll be able to get the trains into Center City quickly. So you'll see a train approximately every 30 minutes or so at most stations. And we are going to run everything, as you mentioned, inbound, so that we can maximize that. And then they'll run empty, essentially, out to the other side of the railroad to turn around and come back inbound. So we are not serving both directions on parade day. We'll serve inbound only in the morning, outbound only in the PM.
How are you making sure, on that particular issue, how are you making sure that you're not leaving people on platforms on the closer stations because the cars are already full when they get there?
Yeah, and that's actually part of the plan. So we're going to have what we refer as incident commanders at each station. They're going to be in constant contact with one another, so that a train that leaves Wawa, for example, and is going to make a stop at show me the map, please. Thank you. So a train that leaves out of Thorndale, for example, and is going to make a stop on the inner ring. The incident commanders are talking to one another to limit capacity out in the outer station, so they can continue to board upstream. We are also going to short turn some trains, so we'll turn them in the inner ring first and serve an interstation first, so they'll be empty when they get in there. This is all part of the design of the plan, is to maximize capacity and serve every station as equally as we can, and then manage that crowd flow. That's why I said they're going to validate fares. They're going to count passengers. They're going to count off. We can hold about 1,000 people on a train. So station A may count off about 500, put 500 on the train, send it on its way for the next station to board 500. That's all going to happen in concert with one another throughout parade day.
So your full capacity for regional rail, both in and out, is 70,000.
70 in, 70 out.
And remind us where folks should get their, as you call it, your ticket instrument for regional rail.
Sure. So first off, if they have a valid key card in their possession that's loaded with travel wallet or a pass, that's okay. Same thing with senior cards, reduced fare cards, all of our valid fare instruments that they might have in their possession today. They can also go to any one of our ticket sales locations today and tomorrow and purchase a one-day pass for $10, and then that will be good on parade day. And if by some chance they change their mind or somebody gets sick and can't go to the parade, that pass is good for until they use it. So what if they buy it for parade day and they can't use it for some reason, that pass is still good on SEPTA later.
On the suburban station,
There's certain, well, it's going to exceed capacity. So the answer is no. We can sell as many as we can fit on the train. So we'll have as much. The capacity is limited only by the train, not by the passes.
So you'll continue to sell the passes because
We can, yes, they can. They're good. They're good forever. So we don't need to we don't have to cap it. No.
on the suburban station closure, I understand what you were saying about the stairs, but that is still obviously a very close station to actually getting to the Parkway. Driving people off 30th Street Station or somewhere else means a longer walk. You've got some streets that are still open. How are you handling getting people from those farther away stations? How are the police involved in that? And are you concerned at all that could create a crush of crowd?
No, in fact, I think it's the opposite. Suburban Station is too close. Suburban Station will be right where the crowd will swell the big outside of the Parkway, of course, because that's where the parade turns. They'll have jumbotrons there. It'll be a very popular location. Suburban Station, what it taught us in 2008 is we have to be able to manage the entries and exits to the station. When the crowd is right on top of us, we have no opportunity to manage that. So what 30th Street and 11th Street and Jefferson do for us is it elongates the trip for the customer. Yes, it might feel a little inconvenient, but this event, like past events, is something that folks have to navigate on foot after they get off transit, because we cannot it's not safe for them to come directly into Suburban Station or to City Hall. So they'll have to move it. We have our own police department, which will be on full deployment, all hands for them. PPD, Philadelphia Police, know our plan. They're aware of what we're doing, so they've approved the plan, and they're okay with moving people through the neighborhoods.
Do you know what their plan is then once people get off the train?
What Philadelphia Police's plan?
Yeah.
I don't know, Chief, if you want to speak to that specifically.
Yeah, look, I think in terms of advice to our customers, what we're saying is this. There's a couple things you can do to make this a more enjoyable experience, right? Plan ahead early. Pick your spot along the parade route that you want to be, right? We can't get 1 million people into the same location, right? It's a long parade route. So pick your location on the parade route where you want to be, know how you're getting there and getting home. And then, since the largest wait time, the largest amount of passenger volume we're going to do is immediately after the events on the Parkway, right? That's when the longest wait periods are going to happen. Our advice is pick a spot along the parade route where we can get you close. You can enjoy the parade and then consider leaving before all that, right? Because you're going to have wait times exceeding an hour, hour and a half to get on a train at the break of the Parkway event. So there are plenty of locations along the parade route where we can get you really close, right along Broad Street, and enjoy this experience, and then get out before the crush of the crowd happens.
What if you, let's say there were kids, they've been out there a long time and standing, and they're done, and they want to leave, and the actual event isn't over yet. Do you guys have a way to get them out of there? When do you start running trains back?
We're running trains on Broad Street, Market Frankfurt all day long, right? So the
if
suburban.
people want to leave early,
That's right.
they can do that.
So they can leave. Yep.
Kids.
And that's our advice, really. As soon as that parade float passes you, consider leaving. Yep.
And let me just add to that while the Broad Market Street, and this is why I tell everybody those are your best options because they're going to run all day. as will all our other transit services. There will be a break in regional rail service while we stage for the going home portion of the day. So the first trains will leave Jefferson and 30th Street around 2 p.m. So someone who's on the south end of Broad and watches the parade go by, they can reboard a Broad Street line train at NRG, Oregon, or Snyder, ride back up to Walnut, walk over to Jefferson, and they can wait for the first trains to start to pull out around 2 p.m.
Scott, you talked about yesterday what you learned from 2018, and you talked about you learned where were the hot button
Mhm.
places. Where are the hot button stops, both going to and leaving? Because I'm sure
Right.
people want to know that. 'Cause they're gonna
Yeah.
avoid it.
Well, let me first caution people that I'll tell you where the hot spots are, but they're just hotter than others. There's no best location necessarily where you won't wait. You will wait everywhere you go. But the hottest locations that we saw back in 2018 on the coming in portion of the trip, 69th Street Transportation Center was big. Frankfurt Transportation Center. The outermost points of the lines are really where you're really going to see a lot of people. Lansdale, on our Lansdale-Doylestown line, was very popular. Certainly at the time, Media. But now we have Wawa. There are some new stations that Wawa didn't exist, of course, in 2018. But certainly the outermost parts of the service area are really going to be very popular. And on the going home portion of the trip, as you can imagine, 11th and Market, because that is really closest to the parade route. We're going to see a lot of travel from 11th and Market. We'll see Jefferson Station, of course, will be a good option, and then it's really 11th and 30th are the going home portion, so that's where you'll see. Walnut Locust was very busy coming in, so much so that we had to close it, and it will be just as busy going home. So everything that's around the Center City ring that we created will be busy going home, and the outermost parts of the region will be busy. But don't let me fool you. Everything will be busy. So get there early.
Scott, do me a favor. Just detail the open stations on the Broad Street and the Market Frankfurt.
You mean list them out to you?
Yeah, just read them.
Sure. Fern Rock Transportation Center, starting from the north, Fern Rock Transportation Center, Olney Transportation Center, Erie, North Philadelphia, Cecil B. Moore, Racevine, Walnut Locust, Snyder, Oregon, and NRG.
And the Market Frankfurt.
Market Frankfurt is from the west, 69th Street, 60th, 52nd, 40th, 30th, 11th, Girard, Huntington, Allegheny, Erie, Torresdale, Arrett, and Frankfurt Transportation Center.
Chief, what do you want to do? I mean, are you going to allow people to drink on board trains? I mean, people might very well want to celebrate on board the train, both in the way and the way out.
We're certainly going to try and limit it. Look, the messaging to our folks is this is not a day about enforcement or arrests. To give you an idea, in 2018, we did 2 arrests all day. So this is, we expect fans to be celebratory, excited, coming in, a lot of Eagles chants, a lot of fight songs. We're going to try and limit alcohol in the system as we can, but our intention is not to enforce a lot of laws today. We want our folks to be safe. We will step in if things prove to be unsafe. But right now, we're supporting getting folks to this event safely and getting them out safely and doing it as quickly as we can.
What happens, I'm looking at the inbound service and the outbound service. Inbound service 4:30 to 10:50 a.m., outbound service 2 to 10:30. What happens between those times?
We stage trains for the outbound service.
Do you
So
have the option of adding them and running more if you?
we won't. No, we don't have that option. We have to be very careful about hours of service for crews. So we have to manage all that time, and it's a complicated planning event to get the trains back in time to launch the trains starting at 2 p.m. So we'll bring trains into the yard. We'll clean them up. We'll do inspections, get new crews where we need to get new crews, and prepare for the outbound trip. So we will not run service between those times.
For folks who don't want to go to the parade but do want to come into the city and patronize restaurants for Valentine's Day, how are they supposed to get into the city?
They can come in the same way everybody else is coming in.
So they have to come in the morning, wait all day.
Possibly. Yep. Yep. Yeah. This let me stress. This is an event service plan. There really is no like regular commuting going on Friday, and I can guarantee there really isn't much regular commuting going on Friday. You're going to get the people that have to support this that come in early. They know they got to get in early. Like I said, Broad Street and Market Street going to run all day long, peak hour service basically all day long, so we can serve anybody on those lines. Same thing with our trolleys and buses. We'll serve whoever shows up. We'll take care of you. Regional Rail is just going to be very compact and long wait times. So people who need to get in for other reasons other than a parade, you have to plan accordingly.
So what about, I know you mentioned like the medical centers, so let's say you've got a nurse who's working a shift that starts at 4 o'clock, what do they do?
If she talks, if she's coming in on Regional Rail, it's not possible. So I can't serve that nurse coming in on Regional Rail at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We just can't do it. But I can serve her on any other part of the system if she comes in.
And has that been communicated?
Yes, we've communicated to our partners that this is the, and if she identifies herself to staff, we'll make sure she gets on a train.
But only in those
Yes,
early.
that's right.
Do you know how many pieces of equipment you'll actually have in place tomorrow in total?
I don't think that's not listed out, but I can try to remember them. Yeah, I mean, on the Market Frankfurt line, we'll have about 132 plus cars. Broad Street will be about 105. We have 200, almost 300 pieces of regional rail equipment that we'll have out there. And then our full complement of buses and trolleys, which trolleys are about 150 and buses are 1,200.
When does bus service return to normal?
Bus service, well, it depends on how soon streets can give us the streets back. I say in 2018, I would say late in the evening is when we finally were. Now they'll start breaking down South Broad as the parade moves. So we may get portions of South Broad back, but not right away. Just because they break down the fencing doesn't mean we're getting South Broad back. But whenever the police or the Office of Emergency Management tell us it's clear, we'll put service back.
How will people know when that service is back and any of the other movements as well if they can't use the app?
We will they can use the app for service updates. What they can't use the app for is real-time vehicle location. So we offer, for example, if you want to track your bus, you want to track your train, you can do that on the app. But we can still communicate on the app. So we can send out a blast saying service has returned to normal as of whatever time that might be. Or Walnut Locust Station has been closed as of whatever time that may be. We also have our Twitter feeds, and our social media team will be staffed throughout the day, so they can converse directly with our social media team, our customers. We've put extra staff in our customer service department to field whatever phone calls or communications we get through that method. So we have all the same communication channels that we have today. The only difference is they won't be able to track their train specifically.
Did you break even? What is this? Obviously, Market Frankfurt and Broad Street are going to be covered.
Yes.
But the cost of having everybody in, all this equipment working, do you break even with the money that
Do
you
we break even? We don't ever break even, Jeff. That's
No.
why we're in Harrisburg asking for more funding. Yes, yeah. We don't ever break even. We listen. We're a public service. We're built to do things just like this, right? When the city needs us, when the region needs us, we're here. So we're not out to make a buck, right? We're here to perform a service, which is why we ask the taxpayer to fund our service, so that it can be available to everyone when they need it.
But do you feel let me ask you, feel some sort of political pressure, right? Because he's offered up $165 million, but he also wants to change the formula to give you a more permanent funding process. I mean, this needs to go well for you in some sense.
It does. It certainly does. You know, I'm only interim, Jeff.
Maybe it won't. More than that.
No, listen. I'm very confident. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it very well. We've proven this time and time again when we supported the Pope, when we supported the Eagles back in 2018, when we've supported any major event in the city, even any crisis in the city. When COVID struck, we were here. We continue to operate every single day. Our people show up for this stuff. They're just as excited about this as the fans are. So I'm not really concerned that we can't deliver. We're excited to deliver. We want to do this. We've been talking about this for months. We want to do this. Back in 2018, I wasn't as excited about it. I was brand new in my position, so I was like, holy cow, I can't believe I have to do this. But this year, I'm excited to do this. We're going to do this, and we're going to give people a great day. I liken SEPTA to like a football referee. Can anybody tell me who the referees were last Sunday? I bet you can't, because they actually had a decent game. But when that referee has a bad game, everybody knows his name and where he lives and who his mother is and everything else. SEPTA is the same way. If we have a good day, nobody will notice. And that's the way we like it. And that's what we're going to have on Friday.
For people who did this in 2018, they're saying, hey, I remember, I did this before, I went in with my family. What's different?
Not much, actually. Couple different stations. 11th Street's different. Wawa's different. But other than that, I will say one big change that people will have to, that we've had to plan around is we did not have the full functionality of the key card in 2018 on Regional Rail. So that's a new dynamic, and this is why we didn't have to sell. If you remember, for those of you who were with us in 2018, we had to sell a special railroad pass for that day. We don't have to do that necessarily for this, because a lot of people are going to come equipped. They ride all the time and they have fare instruments. We're providing a special pass for those who don't. But back in 2018, we didn't have that functionality. So that's the biggest difference. And of course, Wawa Station is a brand new station. But it shouldn't feel a lot different to them. We took the plan that we did in 2018. We took really good, we had really good notes and really good look backs that we could do of that parade. And we are really trying to redo that and execute it the same way with a couple minor changes. All right.